Hi, this is Dr. Nikki, and I'm really excited to be here with you again today. I'm going to be talking about my new book, Math Workshop in Action, and specifically, I'm going to be talking about Chapter 5. Chapter 5 deals with mini lessons. And what I wanted to do in this chapter was just talk about different kinds of mini lessons because, frankly, I think a lot of mini lessons are really boring. I think that you can do more than just sit there and tell kids what the concept is or the strategy or the skill. I think that you can actually make it come alive, make it pop, make the kids engaged, and do a lot of teaching. And so I talk about the goals of mini lessons, I talk about the teacher's role, the student's role, and then I try to give you ideas. I talk about the structure, that there's 5 types of mini lessons. There's a conceptual mini lesson where you're trying to get at the concept. There's a procedural mini lesson where you're trying to teach the kids to do something like, a conceptual would be what is a fraction. A procedural would be how do we multiply fractions. A conceptual would be what is addition. Procedural would be how do we use the open number line to add 2-digit numbers. And then there's reasoning lessons where you're really getting the kids to think, and you say things like, well, Susie said that the answer's 7, John said that the answer's 9, who is correct and why, where you're getting kids to kind of really explain their reasoning and begin to teach them how to reason out loud. That's really what you're trying to do in an adaptive reasoning lesson, is to teach the kids to reason out loud. And then there's lessons around strategic competence where you're really working on different strategies. And then there's the mathematical disposition, where you're really kind of touching into how do we do this? How am I learning this? Tapping into some of the Marzano stuff around levels of understanding and getting kids to self-monitor, right? Do I get this or do I not get this? Does this make sense or does this not make sense? So really doing some check-ins with your kids and having them talk about their level of understanding and being able to articulate that. Super important. And then I talk about types of mini lessons. And so I talk about using videos. I think it's really important. You should use a video protocol when you're using videos so that kids don't just kind of tune out. And I give an example of a video protocol. I talk about using poems and I give you lots of good websites to go to. I talk about doing interactive lectures where kids are using their whiteboards and you're talking and they're trying to make sense of what's happening. I talk about 21st century technologies such as Prezi and Glogster and VoiceThread. I talk about how to make our mini lessons pop. So I love this chapter. It's on mini lessons. It goes deep into what do we do with mini lessons. Chapter 5. All right. Well, happy mathing.